to move to the idea that when we print out a report, you'll see the sun line, the moon, the ascendant. But right after that says NN for North Node. That's typically line 4. And then line 5 is SN for South Node. So with the nodal axis, you have the center of a zodiacal wheel. And a nodal axis is completely 180 degrees opposite each other. And this is how the beautiful cosmic game works in life, right? As a soul, we agree, hey, I didn't learn that issue in my last life. I'll come in again and try and learn it this life. So there's some pre-agreements. You can find out where you came from in a past life, what those lessons were. And you can also see on the 100% opposite what the lesson is now that will challenge you in this life. Now, you're not going to find nodes in the cosmos. It's not like a planet. It's not physical, but it has a very specific point in space that involves the Earth and the moon. Julia, do you want to add anything?
I would like to go straight to the experience I've had with so many QHHT clients when I was doing years of past life regression sessions through QHHT. And we looked at several different past lives of a person. And then after their session, I would sit and look at their charts, and especially at the lunar nodes, I would see that it's true what's written in their chart.
Right, because everyone comes in with nodal points. So there's still that lesson. Okay, given the time, we're going to move now to the second house as it relates to the 8th house. So second house, Julia, your chart says Taurus with the ruling planet Venus says, I value. It reminds me of a white picket fence, and the bull that says, this is my pasture. So I have and I value. And it is paired with this beautiful opposite of Scorpio. And Scorpio in Julia's chart says, I share, I receive. Scorpio is ruled by the planet Pluto, the god of the underworld. That's the god metaphor, but it's the planet Pluto. So we have something that says, this is mine in Taurus, and I value my relationship. This is my material. This is my car. And this is my money. And then you get over to Scorpio, which is all about transforming, and it's death and rebirth and darker, deeper, mystical, the deep dive. So where Taurus likes to stay and munch the grass, Scorpio is going to try and see what's happening underneath. So I'm going to move it over to Julia about North Node. Let's just start with second house. What happens if your North Node's in the second house?
People that I've met, many with North Node here in second house, they would have had very intense past lives or very intense childhood and teenage years, like extreme cases of all kinds of scenarios, whether alcoholic household, sexual abuse, extreme riches or poverty, just extreme situations of all different kinds, or being in the occult family, or just something intense. It's always very intense past. And they are guided to find a way to detach from everyone's problems and issues and toxicity and find their security in the here and now, in the spiritual essence of their being, and creating their own safe haven wherever they are, just becoming much more stable and not reacting to situations all the time, and rather reflecting first and then responding. That's a huge, huge theme with these people. Okay. And the opposite, if we have North Node in the 8th house, the past lives in QHHT sessions with these clients would have been a farmer, a landlord, taking care of things, and being used to long, strenuous work, or just having this repetitive life, everyday life for many, many years. Just everything was very same. There was no change. They would have, these were, like Dolores Cannon would call these digging potatoes lives, just nothing extraordinary is ever happening. It just seems very boring. And clients, even in that experience, as they were regressing, and they were like, why am I here? What am I being shown here? What's the point? Is this so boring? But they then see how, then they can start embracing the opportunities for many changes in their current life, and they're really heading towards a faster, accelerated evolution of their being through many different situations that tend to be sometimes intense as well. But it's about learning from other people's changes and from the environment changing, and from just learning through other people's values and learning to find a different way, and shedding some of their habits that are like iron shirt, when you have habits that you never want to change and they're limiting you. So that's the theme with them. So it's about money, sexual relationships, and oftentimes esoterics, like people who have these nodes, they would usually have either hidden or full-on passion to study occult, astrology, psychology, and many healers would have these nodes as well. They would become passionate about helping people uncover what's hidden in their psyche and help them heal and transform. These tend to be very transformational nodes, especially when it's heading towards the 8th house. And what I just said about the healers, they would usually have several planets in their 8th house, or at least one major one in their 8th house. So.
Okay. So let's say sexual abuse and holding space, 2nd house, 8th house. And then if we look on those North Node and the Galactic Report, we could potentially, and correct me if I'm wrong, call in that team. Like, okay, I signed up for this. I don't know why. Can I call on those star families galactically? Like, come help me. It's dark.
Yeah, absolutely. There will always be either Arcturians or Syrians, big stars alignments, or Andromedans and Orion, Alnilam, Alnitak, Draco, Tuban, but as conjunct will be there, or sextile trine, helping the person to build their sovereignty. And if it's a case of this being their soul mission, then you will see these prominent fixed stars alignment with their South North nodes or their midheaven as well. And then you will also find many other clues throughout their chart about them becoming a whistleblower or speaking out about this or helping others to do that. Then their Chiron either will have that theme also, so they're meant to become a healer for that wound, or they'll have active Gemini, Sagittarius. There will be other indicators of them actually meant to come out and talk about this and help this heal on a collective level. I've met many that had sexual abuse, and I've yet to come across someone who would have done it in the past and now they're paying for their thing. It's mainly starseeds coming to help to heal it.
Wow. So holding space for even the darkest, most heinous, narrative. There's space and there's help and there's healing. If we look at the axial aspect again and move towards the center. So, I know some of us new to the reports, we go, oh my God, there's Draco Tubin. How do I hold that? Don't worry, put it aside. These are just axial ways of holding narrative as I came in here to learn and to expand.